I've seen the future.
Hey everybody, it's Colette Baron-Reid. Welcome to this week's Oracle card guidance and lesson. And this is the week of August the 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th, and 10th. I don't know. Anyway, I know what it is, you're here, and we know what day it is. So, we're also just about to head into Mercury retrograde in Leo or Virgo, I can't remember which one, but bottom line is it's going to be a dicey month, okay? So the cards are from Wisdom of the Oracle. Now remember, these are prescriptive. They tell us how to manage when we have a specific type of energy that kind of, it's like a weather report. It's kind of like saying, hey, it's going to rain, but not it's going to rain. It's like, bring your umbrella, right? So we're kind of like, is it going to rain? And then the message is bring your umbrella. So these are the bring your umbrella cards. Very, very, very good week to really focus on your highest good and the out-picturing of your desires. Why? Because you have to stop doing what you did, expecting to get something different. If you do what you did, you're gonna get what you got. And the first card is Neverending Story. Now this typically tends to be the victim card in this deck, but that's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that, oh, you're a bad person, you're victimizing yourself. It's really about asking us to look at how we self-sabotage and what parts of us from the past comes up to create a sense of denial or a sense of familiarity that really doesn't serve us. So those are the kind of things that we learn through our wounds. And I love what Carolyn Mace calls it, woundology. So this is a week to ensure that you don't identify yourself through your woundology. So first card, that's the anchor card. Now the second card is Fork in the Road, which is about making a choice. So you're either gonna have a choice of either reacting the same way you did in the past or responding in a way where milk and honey is the focus. So this is really, it's hard for people because we all have a negative bias that we come from. So we all kind of go back to that default setting of expecting something to not work out or expecting to see the same thing as before or saying like, I always run into a person like that or I'm always gonna have a problem like that. Instead, this is saying, I don't know what else there is, but I'll be open to that instead of doing the same thing, right? Now, when we focus on the future self, remember the past self or the present self is like still remembering that, doesn't really know what it's going to be like for you. You don't know how your new prosperity is going to feel like because it's new. So the cards are saying you've got to still focus on that. Choose what you don't know. Choose the unknown, not what you know. And that milk and honey card really then reminds us that we are pure potential. So we don't have to keep repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Now, what's that going to feel like? Well, Between Worlds is the card that it closes up the conversation. And Between Worlds says that it's an evolving process. It's an evolution. Like you might have one foot in the old and one foot in the future, and you got to kind of be comfortable with part of you still doing the old thing and the new part of you is going like, wait a sec, I think I'd rather go here. Sometimes you feel a little stretched in the tension of those two opposites, but it's okay because Between Worlds is exactly where we're supposed to be. Nothing is going to change overnight, but we have to be the change that we're waiting for. Now, as I do every week, I'm going to choose two cards from the Good Tarot. And I really want to remind you at this stage about how we want to do this now moving forward. So choose from my website. I want you to go to the website and choose 3 cards. And this week, let's all choose it from the same deck. Let's choose it from Wisdom of the Oracle. There'll be 3 cards there. That's the red deck, by the way, when you go there. And what I'd like you to do, instead of just telling us what the cards are that you got, tell us what you think they mean. And then come back at the end of the week and go, whoa, find your post, reply to your own post and say like, whoa, I totally now get what that meant. It didn't mean anything to me when I pulled them, but yeah, I totally saw how those 2 storylines between the one that Colette shared and my personal story. So and then you put it together. And if you read some of the older, look at some of the other weeks, you're gonna see that we've already done that and how awesome it was and people were just blown away. Now let's choose the Good Tarot. And the Good Tarot is not loaded up on my website yet, so you can't pick it unless you pick it and you're at home, which I'd love you to do. Go get them, Amazon or wherever. Okay, now, sorry, I'm the table's over there. It looks like I'm dancing, but I'm not really. Okay, so here are the 2 this week. I thought, okay, let's pick 2 cards to give us more on the story. What else do we need to know? How do we need to think, feel, behave, and I would say, intend, right? So how do we set our intention for this week? And these cards are affirmation cards, so they'll tell us how. So 3 of Fire is very exciting. Expansion of opportunities. Okay, so why would we want to be a victim of the never-ending story and keeping on repeating the same thing over and over again when we have opportunities right in front of us here, like that milk and honey card? So here's what it says. I am on the right path toward my success. I have an abundance of opportunities before me. I need to trust myself and my higher power, for I can make good choices for myself and co-create. Remember, we co-create with our higher power. We don't do it by ourselves. Co-create situations and relationships that are in harmony with my heart's desire. Not the never-ending story card, right? We're gonna focus on that milk and honey, where we're gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna embody that, not the first card. Now, to give us a little bit more information, we have the 7 of Fire, so they're both fire cards, which is really about passion and behavior also. Going the distance, your personal best, perseverance, and my favorite, which is nonconformity. And this was the card that I got when I asked if this deck should actually be the way it is, because it's so different. I'm unstoppable. My passion pushes obstacles aside as I engage in sustained effort. Remember? Marathon, not a sprint. I know how to bend, but I don't compromise on what's most important to me. If others aren't happy with the course I'm on, I don't have to let their concerns affect me. I release the temptation to resist challenges, and I trust that I can make things happen as I live my life on my own terms. Inspired solutions present themselves. So, if you kind of put that whole storyline together, you know, you can look at it more on a collective level, that we could be pressured by the zeitgeist or by what's going on everywhere in the world, you know, pressure from groups and stuff to be a certain way, and you start to feel like, oh. And the main thing is, and if you watched my last month's Facebook Live, I talk a lot about nonconformity, and I talk a lot about spiritual activism, which is about being authentic and unique and really remaining true to yourself. That's really crucial. That's a way of spiritual activism, to keep that forward, not the ego. So there's a lot more of that this month also, where there's a sense of like, okay, others want me to go here, but what does my heart really tell me? And I gotta go here. And so be really true to yourself. This week more than ever, I'm dying to see what happens this week, right? Or living to see what's happening. I don't wanna die for anything except for when it's time. Anyway, I hope you have an awesome week, and I hope this lesson inspired you. And if it did, well, share it. And if you like this video, well, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends. Don't forget to put your cards under here. We love looking at them, and then come back at the end of the week and see what you said, see what actually happened. And remember too that we have another group, fantastic. If you want to go over to Facebook, I know this is YouTube, but on Facebook, there's a group called the Oracle School Insiders Group. And that's where you're going to find, like, wow, 8,000 really, really active people who are using my Oracle cards in a very different way than you've probably been taught. So if you're interested, come check us out. Mwah. Love you. Take care.
I've seen the future. It's beautiful.